Hello. See who's joined me today. It's Sandy Shills, and I've got a bit of a new format, and I'm checking out some stuff here to screen share, and I want to welcome you to Environmental Coffee House. What I am doing is rolling out a new show, and this new show is going to be called That Was the Week That Was. And I named this after an old show from the 1960s. And that show, let me, before I do this, hi. That show was on BBC, and it was really interesting, and I really liked, I gotta put my chair up. Sorry. Oh, okay. Sometimes you just got to get comfortable. Okay, so this show That Was the Week That Was, and it was in 1964 to 1965 in America, and 1962 to 1963 in the UK. Hi, guys. So this is really good. That actually Tom Lehrer, he was a singer-comedian back in the 60s. And he did write for that show. But he then came out with an album that was the year that was. So I thought, I'm going to name this. I'm going to steal it, and I'm going to name my show on Friday nights that's coming up for the summer. That Was the Week That Was, ECH. Because we put on so much stuff. We spend, between me and Justin and everybody that contributes articles, we spend so much time researching. I'm thinking to myself, we have a cadre of information to choose from to talk about in a show. And I do my research pieces and I do the interviews, but this show I think is going to be really cool. I do think, because if you all watch and you all are with me and our page, you can see all of the stuff that we publish. And I thought, why not talk about it? Why not talk about the comments and all these amazing people that join us and that follow? I mean, we're at 6,800 plus followers. And that's amazing, from all over the world. And I think it's great because of our content and the fact that we work really hard to shop around to get the best stuff for you, to let you know what's happening all over the world, to let you know how our climate is, to let you know about our environment and plastic pollution and all of those things that just are not all of the happiest topics. And I'm sorry, it's not easy to find these kinds of topics that are so, hey, let's party. The environment's great, because we know it's not. But I also try to bring a measure of hopium, smiling, happiness. I'm not all doom and gloom, as we all know, but I do know what's going on. I know where we're headed, and we haven't cut our fossil fuel use, and we haven't done the things that we need to do to stop the Arctic from melting. So, needless to say, our page demonstrates a lot of this. Not to scare you, but to alert you. Not to alarm you, but to educate you. So that those of you who have kids, those of you who don't have kids, those of you who are young, those of you who are old, you've got the tools, you know what to do, at least, and you're in the know. You're understanding of our climate, our planet, all the things that need to happen. And I will say hello to everybody after this right now, because I want to show you something now that I have tried to do, and somehow it looks like I may not have it right, but I'm going to do this and see if it works. It's screen sharing, and I finally got it, and let's see. Nope, it doesn't. Oh, wait. Yep, got to add it to the broadcast. Here we go. Okay, now, here we go. It doesn't want to work, and I'm not on the page. Well, there's always the first time for everything, right? And I have not been using the screen share option because actually I never really had time to figure it out, which guess what? It's really not even that big of a deal on Be Live. It really wasn't. So all this time I could have been using it. However, I am having an issue and I'm trying to figure out why it doesn't want to share and stay up so that I can show you guys the screen at the same time. Okay, there we go. There we go. So bear with me. There's lots of different ways you can look. You can look there. And that's Environmental Coffee House. That is our one of our logos done by Mindy Dunham, who is our amazing graphic artist. And in fact, Mindy and I talked today and we brainstormed about the graphic that's going to go with this show. So I think that's awesome. And I'm really glad that you're with us because I really do. I'm really excited. You know, I told you all I'm having neck surgery, although I haven't announced that to my YouTube crew yet. YouTube, I want you to join and Facebook. Even if you guys and girls hate Facebook, come to our page because our page is great. You'll get all your news. Then you just get right off Facebook because all they see on YouTube are the videos. So I'm going to start today with the week that was one of my favorite articles. You know, I'm a bit on the political side, and I absolutely cannot stand Donald Trump. I can't stand the administration. And forgive me, I'm just playing around with this. I really don't know how it looks to you guys, but this is the first article that I'm going to share. And it was on the page, got a lot of activity, got a lot of shares, got a lot of laughs. And you know, one thing I do like to bring, I like to bring some humor. I like to bring some laughs. Because if you cannot laugh, what do you have? You know, we can all go through the stages of grief because of our planet, because of climate change. But you know, while you're going through those stages of grief, why not have some fun in life and laugh at things? And I find our political situation in the United States, in fact, I find our political situation all over the world pathetic, ironic, just headed for a brick wall, as Hambone says, at 77,000 miles an hour. So let's start with this one. This was the article. Let's see if I can get this on the screen only, just to show you. Okay, that was the article from Science Magazine, and there were a lot of different places. Republican lawmaker about the rocks tumbling into the ocean causing sea level rise. Well, this really, 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 really got me. I thought it was unbelievable. This guy, you know, he's unbelievable. And he is in a committee that you got to know what's going on. He said that, I'm going to find this, the purpose of the hearing, because he is he's a Republican, and he's with the U.S. House of Representatives Science, Space, and Technology Committee. This was all over everywhere. And this dude, Mo Brooks, from Alabama, he said that, and he was also supported by Dana Rohrabacher, another Republican, you know, real brain. I kind of call them clueless morons because essentially they are. And I stole that from Hambone too, but I can't help myself because I am sarcastic. I do see what's going on. I can't help myself just by what I read every single day. So these two were talking about, here's this quote, Representative Mo Brooks. Every time you have that soil or rock or whatever it is that is deposited into the seas, that forces the sea levels to rise because now you have less space in those oceans because the bottom is moving up, unquote. And then they go on to, they were questioning people scientists, and these scientists actually had to teach them things. You know, what you're looking at, Congressman Moron. So Brooks has data, and Brooks was upset because all of their crap was not bought. You know, it was not it was not it was not accepted very well by the mainstream media. And according to one, the E&E News reported on the comments of Brooks and others at the hearing, including California Dana Rohrabacher, GOP, who said he was disturbed that he heard people warning against questioning the link between human activity and climate change. On Wednesday, they had a hearing titled, last Wednesday, Using Technology to Address Climate Change. And Brooks did bring all this up. He brought this up about sea level rise. And Philip Duffy, who is the president of Woods Hole Research Center in Massachusetts, which I pass frequently at one time in my life, said that the last 100-year increase in sea level rise, as I mentioned earlier, has clearly been attributed to human activities, greenhouse gas emissions. But Brooks wanted to know if there are other factors, hence, boulders and things falling in the sea, which I'm going to show you he tried to clarify. So he asserted that Antarctic ice is growing, and Duffy said the satellite records have documented a shrinkage in this. And I don't know what happened to the page, so you don't need to look at it anyway. He says, I've got a NASA base in my district, Brooks said, and apparently they're telling you one thing and me a different thing. Now we're going to go to who is telling him a different thing, okay? I have no idea what's wrong with this. I've been having like a little bit of technical difficulties with all of my things, but here we go. So Mo Brooks gets upset over all of this. And I'm not putting Mr. Brooks down, okay, Congressman Brooks down to the point of that he's such a clueless moron. He got elected or he got chosen or he got whatever by a lot of other clueless morons. Maybe. I cannot summarily dismiss people in his district as clueless morons. That's not nice. And I really don't like to take that road, but he is a public figure. This is what happens. I know. And I'm not even really a public figure. So he wrote this rebuttal because he responds to a vilifying column. And he says, this is what he says. He talks about, to be clear, what I said in the SST hearing is backed up by science, period. Whose science? Whose science are they choosing? He says, Mr. Archibald wrongly ridiculed the observation that erosion impacts sea levels. Over the history of planet Earth, far and away, the number one cause of sea level rise has been erosion and its resulting deposits of sediment and rocks into the world's seas and oceans. There is no close second cause of sea level rise. This is what he's saying in his writing. We present the science otherwise. Clueless moron? You tell me. No close. At a minimum, over many millions of years, thousands of cubic miles of eroded material have been deposited into the Earth's seas, forcing sea level rise. And he says anybody can research this. And he loves to, he just likes to put all a bunch of crap in here. And I don't want to do this to you because he says that Antarctic is not melting at all. And he said that the ice is over at it's 8,000 feet thick, which I didn't have time to verify. If anybody is out there that can verify the thickness of the Antarctic sea ice at this point in time. Now, of course, there's different measurements. So if anybody's going out there, the data terminology on ice and ice melt is area, which is the term of the region covered by sea ice, given in usually square kilometers. Concentration, that's the unitless term that describes the relative amount of area covered by ice compared to some other reference area. Extent, the extent defines a region as either ice covered or not ice covered. And extent is sometimes described in terms of an area or square kilometers covered by at least some ice. Extent is different from the total area. in that if a given region has a percentage of ice concentration greater than the threshold, the entire region is considered ice covered. Now, anomaly data fields measure the difference between sea ice values, area, extent, or concentration at a given time and the long-term average. So the anomaly tells us how close to the average the area, extent, or concentration are given in a month. So there's, the different ways of measuring ice in the Arctic and the Antarctic. But I'm going to go on with this dude, Mo, because in his article, his rebuttal article, and he says that, and this is the important part, he talks about the scientists that help him. And let me just find that because it's pretty interesting. He mentions a guy named Dr. John Christie. And, Dr. John Christie and Dr. Roy Spencer, world leaders in satellite temperature data. And I then looked these guys up on the DeSmog blog. And the DeSmog blog has a whole research database on climate deniers and paid off scientists and all those kind of people. This John Christie guy, I will tell you right now, he's got an impressive background. He's got PhD in atmospheric science, and he testifies on occasions against mainstream scientific views on man-made climate change. Cha-ching. Including testimony before the House Energy Committee. And here are his quotes. November 2007. Christie. I'm sure the majority, but not all of my IPCC colleagues cringe when I say this, but I see neither the developing catastrophe nor the smoking gun proving that human activity is the blame for most of the warming we see. 2007. And this is who Mo is depending on. Okay. He says in 2015, carbon dioxide makes things grow. Oh, I want to puke when I hear this. The world used to have 5 times as much carbon dioxide as it does now. Plants love this stuff. Oh, this is the climate denier statement of the year, of the last 10 years or 20 years. There's absolutely, he says, oh, it creates more food. CO2 is not the problem. There is absolutely no question that carbon energy provides with longer and better lives. There is no question about that. This guy, this scientist who went to at the University of Illinois, I don't know where he was when he was being taught or what he got his actual PhD in, what his thesis was, but he's a clueless effing moron. Now, the other guy, I'm sorry, I can't help myself, but I connect the dots all the time. I've been looking at climate deniers for a long time, and I've even had them write to me. So Mo Brooks also mentioned another guy, and his name is Dr. Roy Spencer. So let's look up Dr. Roy Spencer, and when I get a little more savvy with this screen shooting stuff, I'll have this up on the screen. But for some reason, if I have my iPad and I have my computer on, it knocked out the page. So I don't know. I'm just going to look for this other guy, Spencer. And let's see if he's in here. Dr. Roy Spencer. I'm surprised. Here he is. Okay. So Roy Spencer here's another one that Mo depends on. Roy W. Spencer, PhD, meteorology. And he has a bachelor's in atmospheric sciences in the University of Wisconsin in Madison. So then again, was he asleep? I don't know. But I will tell you what he said. Global warming is not something that we should be terribly worried about from a policy perspective, which is my view. And let's see, another one. Speaking at the Crossroads 4 Energy and Climate Policy Summit I wish I could tell you that we know things for sure, but in science, we don't know anything for sure. I tell people science isn't truth. It's just our idea of how things should work. And usually scientists are wrong. Okay, he's a scientist. So there you go. That really was my article of the week. And there are other things I want to go back to, but oh, I don't want my phone to be ringing. I don't even know where it is. It doesn't matter, does it? Just forget the phone. I'm trying to get back on this because I do want to share one more thing on the screen. And let's see if it works. I don't know what you're looking at, but I put this up and I don't know if, let's see here. It was, okay, here we go. And let's add to the broadcast. There we go. It was the, no. Okay. It was the Twitter. And it was pretty funny. It was really funny. So if you get a chance, I don't know if you can see that, how big you can see it, but it was somebody's Twitter on this guy, and Twitter was all crazy. You know, we're on Twitter, but I don't do a lot with it right now. But I'm looking for someone to help, volunteers. But it was just, to me, the irony of this dude and this committee and all. It is to me insanity that these congressmen use these established climate denying clueless morons to rely on. But the man that runs Woods Hole in Massachusetts, who is he? So this is the kind of thing that I'm going to do on this show on Friday nights. And I really, really hope that you'll share and join me. I need help sharing. I can't always share, and they put me in jail. Also, the topics will be great because they're going to come right from the page. And I don't know if this is going to knock it off. I'm going to do a test here and see if this knocks it off the screen. If I go into the Facebook page on my iPad and look at it so I can peruse some of the articles and just give you the names of some of the articles. One just went up about Vancouver. The Vancouver City Council voted on Wednesday to ban the distribution of plastic straws. And then we have an article from Scientific American, how much of the world's protected land is actually protected. And we have carbon capture test facility opens in Wyoming. We have such a variety and such a really good mix of articles up on the page. We have something for the activist in you. We have something for the doomer in you. We have something for the climate change aficionado in you. We publish something about everything so that we cover things that are interesting to a range of people. You know, we are stuck in an echo chamber on Facebook in a way because of the way Facebook algorithms work. And it's kind of sad. And I really wanted to branch out a little more so that maybe we don't have to rely on Facebook so much, but the page is the anchor. The page is the anchor, and it happens to be very good. We get a lot of people having discussions and commenting, and I think it's wonderful. I do. I love the comments, and I will put up controversial information because I want that discussion. And even if it does not match someone's particular beliefs, we've had a discussion on one of the articles about nuclear energy. I want to spur discussion. And I'm not going to look at someone just because they may be pro-nuclear and throw them off as a troll. I want to know why. And I look to see if they're an industry shill or whatever. And typically, people here are not. So I'm going to take a couple of your comments and see how. Hi, Karen. And Ed had made a comment about the carbon we were talking about. Not this kind of carbon. Yeah, really. And Tiana's here. Hi, Tiana. And Steve. Oh, yeah. Well, of course, Steve. Hemp instead of plastic. Definitely. My gosh, that's on our channel. That's a no-brainer. And Steve also said we could all do this if it weren't for the 1%, the corporations. That's why you got to go out and vote. My whole criteria, and everybody knows that, just vote the climate deniers out. Get people in that will stop this freight train if we can stop it, which I don't think we can, but we can live quality lives. And we have to do whatever we can every single day. Every single day. Well, so I'm really thanking you. And Kathy is here. Hi, Kathy. Kathy was here and Johnny was here. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you guys will join me for the show on Friday nights and that I will keep your attention and you will enjoy it and share and help me. So for today, that was all I wanted to go over. Just tell you what's on the page, show you the split screen ability we have. When I look over the video again, I'll see how it looked so I can ascertain how I can be using the split screen in the best way. I'm not sure if when I'm on the screen, and I'm going to pick it right now, see if I can do this solo. Yeah, there's the screen. But I don't think I can move it. So I'll turn that off and I will turn me on. And I'm going to tell you thank you very much for coming. Please share. We'll see you on Friday night next week. Don't be discouraged if I'm wearing a neck brace after June 12th when I have my neck surgery, because for 6 weeks I have to do something and I won't be able to go outside and do the work outside. And that's going to be a big drag. Thank you very much for coming. Peace, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.